Welcome to Am I the A-hole Part 3. Be sure who to comment who you think is the a-hole. Story 1, AITA for silently getting up and walking out of the restaurant during NYE dinner after I was told to pay for everyone at the table, my in-laws. IF32 recently inherited a good amount of money from my mom. I keep the money in a separate account as I still haven't decided what to do with it and I didn't want it to go to waste. I noticed my husband constantly bringing up the inheritance money and making countless suggestions as to how I should spend it. Another thing is that he expects me pay for nearly everything the past couple of weeks. For NYE, my husband and I met up with his family at a restaurant to celebrate. It was going fine until I found out that I was expected to pay for everyone at the table. My husband's mom joked about paying for dinner out of my inheritance pocket, which made me livid, but I showed no reaction. Just silently paid for my own food/drinks. Then got up and made my way out of the restaurant. They were shouting after me like a crowd and my husband tried to get me to come back, but I drove home. He got back at 3 a.m. yelling at me saying I was pathetic to get up and walk out on him and his family after they relied on me to pay for their food and thought I was gracious enough to do it, but they were wrong. He said I humiliated him and family and that what I did was an attempt to get back at them for not being able to help mom when she was sick. Not true is all I'm gonna say. He is mad and is saying that I caused a huge rift between his family and me when it wouldn't have hurt me to pay for the celebratory dinner. Story 2, AITA for asking my sister to not walk around semi-naked in the house. My 31M sister Emily, 28F, was recently homeless due to varying reasons. She approached me to ask for help, and I was only glad to help her. I told her that she can live in my house rent-free, and that she can stay there as long as she wants. Also, that I have no problem even if she lives there permanently, etc. My wife Sarah, 35F, was fine with it as well. She likes to walk around in revealing clothes. Sometimes she doesn't wear a bra, and at others she has no top at all. I had no problem with remaining there at all, but I don't like people who act like this. Especially when it's my house. I never asked her to not wear such stuff if she's staying elsewhere. So I asked her politely to not do that, especially since there's my 10-year-old son as well. She got mad and accused me of controlling her, being a misogynist, and that it's none of my business what she wears, etc. I responded by saying it is my business when you're living in my house. If you want to do that, go ahead, but you cannot do it here. My morals do not allow that, and you're not even paying anything. I told you that you can live here forever, and the least thing you can do to repay it is to wear decent clothes. She got mad a lot and began to yell at me, using abusive language, etc. I did not back down and asked her to get out if she thinks it's problematic. She said when I can live here without paying money? Fuck that, I am not going to leave and I don't want to search for another house either. So she's still here. But I am wondering whether it was an overreach on my part considering what I told her. Ida. Story 3, AITA for wanting to ruin my family's Christmas with my vegan feast. I was lactose intolerant since I was 11. We visited my grandma frequently and she cooked us a meal every time, and we explained the intolerance to her clearly, but she still never cooked anything for me. I ate rice by itself or similar meals. She doesn't have memory issues, so she just didn't want to make extra work for herself by making a different dish or altering the one she already planned for us. I didn't say anything, because I hate conflicts, and I didn't mind going home hungry if I got to spend time with my family. Every time before we left, my mother told my grandma in a calm way that what she did was disrespectful and made me sad. Later my aunt, her son and husband moved in with my grandmother. She worked for the dairy industry and had friends whose children have food allergies, so she is quite educated on lactose intolerance. When they moved in, her and my grandma did the cooking 50-50, but nothing changed for me, they still didn't make anything for me. One day, when this had gone on for several years, my mother had enough, called my grandmother, threatening her that she would never see me again if she didn't prepare me at least one dish the next time we visit. I didn't know of this phone call and thought they realized they should care about me enough to cook me something I could eat. After this point, I always had something to eat. In 2020, I went vegan, telling them ahead of time. My Aunt Euro's family moved to a different, but when we visit, they still make the meal 50-50. Making vegan foods does the Euro tea cost them more, because they don't buy me special vegan substitutes, they just make the same meal without animal products. I don't expect them to, just saying that my diet doesn't affect their finances. One Christmas my grandma comes to our house and the other she goes to theirs, and on the 25th, the other side of the family visits the house grandma stayed at and we prepare a tasty holiday feast. Last time when it was our turn to celebrate with grandma, my mother, not vegan, decided to make a plant-based feast for the family. Everyone said that it was good. Now I know how to cook and I see how much my mother works during the holidays, so I decided to do it all, so she could relax. I can't Euro tea cook meat and don't Euro tea want to. When my aunt heard that there won't Euro tea be any meat on the table at the family gathering, she got angry at me, and said that I am selfish because I Euro am the only vegan in the family. I asked her children and grandma if they had problems with a vegan meal, they don't. She says that satisfying guests is her priority and does na Euro tea get why she can't Euro tea get the same attention back. I feel like Ida Euro's rude to criticize my Christmas menu almost 20 days before Christmas and also complain about the food when I still have no idea what I Euro LL make. Her oldest son keeps sending me vegan recipes, excited about a vegan Christmas. I don't like seeing people eating dead animals, so it would be a Christmas gift for me. AITA for not changing my mind.